When I first decided to run for office, my friends were excited. My family was supportive. Then I went and I talked to a few other people, and I actually had someone say to me, "You're the most qualified, but you probably won't win." Those were fighting words. That made me dig in and want to win even harder just to prove him wrong.
I first met Chris in late 2014. She was really involved in PTA. Anybody who has the time to work, but then also be really involved in your child's education speaks volumes.
I'm one of the male members of the Progressive Women's Caucus. Totally respect where she comes from and what she says.
I first met Chris after we were elected in 2014. I knew right away that she had great potential to be a leader in our caucus.
I grew up from very humble beginnings. I'm one of 12 children. So what that really means, right, is you always are keeping the peace, you're making sure everything's fair and even, but you also learn how to be a fighter.
One of the little slogans I like, it's not mine, I didn't make it up, but it's like, her core competency is competency, right? So she's pretty much good at whatever she puts her mind to, you know, so.
I was so fortunate to find a great mentor in Representative Winnie Brinks. Not only did she encourage me to run for leadership, but she guided me through the process. When I defeated my opponent in that initial race, I thought, let's do this. Let's get to Lansing, let's get to work, and let's make a difference. And let's work with women all over the state to make sure we have more of a voice of women in Lansing. Women running for office face a lot of unique challenges. It's often different for them to raise money, to ask for help. And it's so important to provide advocacy and resources for women who can lead the charge.
And the idea is that the more women we get, the more balance we bring to Lansing, to the legislature, the better policy we will have.
Women have been fighting for a seat at the table for the last 100 years. Alice Paul was a driving force for women's suffrage. In 1917, she led a protest. They protested day in and day out and were eventually arrested and put in prison, where they were starved and then force-fed. And President Wilson finally relented and released them. In 1918, Michigan men approved full suffrage for women in our state. Alice Paul's work ensured that women had a voice in our political system. Now, more women than ever have answered the call to run for office. And I think it's our job to continue what she started.
I want your help. We have 275 days.
Until we see 50% of women in leadership roles, we won't be at parity. We need to show young women and girls that they too have a voice. You can't be what you can't see. We've got to work to make a difference in that, and that's what the Women in Leadership Fund does.
There's a lot of women who think that they don't have the qualifications simply because they don't have the resume of a lawyer or somebody who's been working in a government agency for years already. Have confidence in your ability, have confidence in your network.
It takes money to run a campaign. And if we can get money available for the women where they may not get it on their own, count me in, I'm on board, let's do it.
The Greig Women in Leadership Fund helps women run for office and win. We need more women in state government, we need more women running for office, and we need more women at the decision-making table. And this fund is one step to helping us achieve that.
What really motivates me is looking into the future and seeing we're women at the table just as much as men. The Women in Leadership Fund pulls women together, supporting each other, sharing resources, making sure that we're in this together and that we're getting more women elected. It's a mentoring, not only financially, but also giving that extra support during the tough campaign days. For a woman running for office, I say, keep going, you're there, but you're not alone. We're in this together.